Since September 11th, we've seen images perhaps no one will soon forget. Images of unspeakable tragedy and unforgettable triumph. One man has a unique perspective on that day and the months to follow. His pictures are ones you'll see first right here on New York Tonight. They are moments in time, bound together by a common theme, the events of September 11th. They are pictures you've never seen before, images captured by photographer Gary Suson, the official archivist of the uniformed Firefighters Association.
While everyone's lives have gone on in New York and the world, and people are at nightclubs and going out to dinner, there's this little world called Ground Zero, and it's 17 acres, and life has not stopped. Life has not gone on at Ground Zero.
Suson began by snapping images of the burning buildings from his own rooftop. He then made his way to the site, and after a short illness, he quickly found his place as the archivist for the beleaguered Firefighters Union. It's
an honor and a privilege that these heroes, I call them heroes, that they allow me to stand side by side with them, and they trust me to document this, mostly because they know they'll pick up the newspaper the next day and they won't see any of my photographs in it. So it's been a life-altering experience for me.
He worked alongside the men for days at a time for nearly 5 months, capturing moments of reflection and sadness, of heroism and utter humility. It was there he met the Geidels, a family rich in fire department history. A band of 3 sons, the men followed their father Paul into the department. Brother Gary didn't make it out, and the others continue to search for his remains.
It's been hard. We're looking for my brother, and we never found him. So it was a lot of disappointments down there, but a lot of triumphs too.
There's a shot of my sons, 2 of my sons, that have been down there. Michael from Rescue 1 and my son Ralph, and that's one of the best shots I think he's taken. Yeah, I wish it was 3 of them.
And while the task of documenting the attacks may at times seem overwhelming, it is a task fire officials say is essential.
Now this will be the hallmark of letting firefighters know it's not just the ghettos where you go to fires every day. It's not just any particular place. You could be anywhere, and you don't know where, and you won't know when. And it could be the last day of your career or the first day of your career. You know, it's something that the public easily forgets, politicians constantly forget, because firefighters you can never forget.
I think it's a necessary thing. I think it's some of the photos that he has there are really necessary, and it also, sometimes they're sad to look at, but I think they're also part of the healing process, and it helps a lot of people through.
The powerful images will also forever preserve the tale of loss and recovery, of honor and bravery of the New York City Fire Department. And a thank you to New York One's Amanda Farinacci for producing that segment. Quite a story to tell. We'd like now to welcome Gary Suson to the show. Gary, a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
How many pictures have you taken?
Thousands of photographs over the course of 5 months. Yeah.
How did the relationship with the union come about? Did you approach them? Did they approach you?
You know, it's funny because I never really called them and said, hi, I'd like to be the archive photographer. It just happened that I read in the daily news about a lot of the sick firemen from early in the days of 911 that were having chronic fatigue and lung problems. And so I called the Medical Network of Long Island, which specializes in allergy treatment and chronic fatigue and respiratory problems, and they offered to treat 5 or 6 of the sickest firemen from 911, which was very generous. I helped arrange that. So the UFA was very appreciative, and then while we were talking on the phone, they said, we understand that you have a website. I sent them to the website. They found it very tributary, and that's towards the fire department, and that's how things started to gel.
And we'll have that website for our viewers a little bit later on. Was there ever a moment, you said you shot thousands of pictures, was there ever a moment that you decided this image should not be captured? Did you ever point but not shoot?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I was well schooled by certain people in the fire department, both at Ground Zero and Rudy Sanfilippo, what to shoot and what not to shoot. So it's not like I was ever going to shoot anything visually upsetting, so to speak. But I guess the answer is no. I've never had that problem, because if I see something of a sensitive nature, I don't believe that those things need to be documented photographically. You have to have some borderline that you don't cross, and I never crossed that line.
Okay, let's talk about some of these pictures. Let's take a look at some of them now. Again, you said thousands. We've taken a few off your website, and we're going to look at them now. If you could just take us through where this picture was taken.
Sure. This was a very emotional month at Ground Zero. This was shot in March when the South Tower area was called the Tully Road. It was a south exit ramp, and it was finally opened up after the military bridge was put in, and a lot of recoveries of civilians and mostly New York City firemen were found. This was a chaplain who was about 2 minutes away from saying a prayer over a fireman's body as the men were standing around waiting for the prayer to begin. And I was standing about 10 feet away, and I noticed that he had earmarked a page in the Bible, and so I ran behind him to get the shot. Having the crucifix in the same image with the Bible and the flag, I felt was very tributary to the fire department.
This next image?
This is the man on the left is Frank Slecce. He's the man who found the World Trade Center cross, and the man on the right, his name is Mike. He's a rescue worker. These two bonded when Mike had a death in the family, and this is a Sunday morning. The church service underneath the cross had just finished, and Mike was supposed to attend that church service, but he missed it because a fireman was recovering. He had to go and assist. When Mike came up, back up to where the cross was, he was a bit emotional. I was at the top of the ladder taking a photo of the cross when I turned around, and Mike walked up and they gave each other a big, Frank gave him a big hug. It's one of my favorite photos. This is a Port Authority police officer digging. It's simplistic in nature, but it tells the story of what goes on there, and it's a lot of digging. This is underneath the PATH train, underneath the World Trade Center. This is the commuter's car bar. It was remarkably intact. It was extremely scary in there. Smelled like smoke. It was amazing that the glasses up top stayed intact, and the time stood still. Over on the right side is a newspaper for the Post dated September 10.
8:47. We're going to take a quick break and go through more of these pictures with Gary Suson in just a moment. Right now, after this break, before the break actually, the impact of September 11th in your words. We'll be right back.